Okay, so how did you guys do on these last few? Did we determine 96 paths there? Six-sided die, a fair coin toss, so heads and tails, so 6 times 2, 12 outcomes there. And then the telephone numbers. The first digit cannot be 0, so that leaves us only 9 digits to work with. And then from 0 to 9, that gives us 10 digits, and they can repeat for all the other options. So this is going to be 9 times 10 to the 6, or 9 million options. All right, basic probability. Just some notation and some definitions here for you guys. I know you all can read, so I'm not going to read all of this for you. Let's just go down here, though, just so you know how to read this. This reads probability of an event. The probability of an event is the number of favorable outcomes over the number of total possible outcomes. So kind of part out a whole. Favorable outcomes over possible outcomes. Okay? So looking at this quickly, let's go over some probability facts. So the probability of an event ranges from 0 to 1. So if the probability of an event is 0, what do you think that means? It's impossible, right? It's not going to happen. So that's impossible. Well, what if the probability of an event is 1? Then event E is certain to happen, right? 1 is like 100%. 100% going to happen. 0, not going to happen. Okay, so just remember that probabilities range from 0 to 1. They're parts out of whole. Favorable outcomes over total possible outcomes. If we're looking for the probability of not E, that's found by taking the whole and subtracting the probability of the event E occurring. Okay. All right, last bit here. If events A and B have no successful outcomes in common, we use the word or, A or B. So the probability of A plus the probability of B will give you the probability of A or B. Okay, but if they do have successes in common, or outcomes in common, then you need to make sure you subtract that overlap. So it's still probability of A plus the probability of B minus the probability of A and B. So maybe star this one. Probability of A and B, and you're going to find the probability of A and multiply it by the probability of B. So or means add, and means multiply in the probability world. Okay? So we have theoretical probability and experimental probability. So theoretical probabilities is what's expected to occur in an experiment, what should happen without actually performing the experiment. And experimental probability is estimated from actually observing simulations or experiments. So what actually happened, experimental probability. If we were together, we would definitely do some experimental probability activities. All right, so using theoretical probability, okay, because I don't have a jar here of red marbles, white marbles, and black marbles. So let's use theoretical probability. How many total marbles do we have? How many total marbles are in this jar? 2 plus 3 plus 4, right? So there's 9 total. If one marble is chosen at random, find the, let's read this, probability of picking a red marble. So the favorable outcomes there are 2, right? There's 2 red marbles. Out of the total number of marbles, 9. So that's a probability of picking a red marble. Remember, it's between 0 and 1. How about the probability of picking a red or a white? So remember, or means add. So the probability of picking red, we already found, is 2/9. Plus, what's the probability of picking a white? 3 out of 9. So we have 5/9 there. All right, probability of green. How many green marbles are there? None. 0 out of 9. So that probability is 0. It's impossible to get a green marble. He's hungry. Somebody feed my child. Okay. How about not red? Okay, we could do this by counting all of the black and the white and coming up with 7 9s. Or we could figure it out using the definition above, 1 minus the probability of getting a red. 1 minus 2 9s. This will leave us the probability of not getting a red. So we can change that to 9 over 9, right? And 9 minus 2 is 7. So 7 9s, which we could also figure out, right? Because there's 4 black and 3 white, so 7 out of 9. Okay. All right, so let's call it quits there because it's past 5 minutes, and I know that's when we start losing attention. So I will post the rest of these notes later, and I will also post the answer key to homework 12-1, which is what you'll be working on for Friday and this weekend.